Thank you for participating in Module 3 of the Missouri Division of Developmental Disabilities Employment First Training for Support Coordinators. My name is Dwayne Shoemate, State Coordinator of Employment and Community Engagement. In this module, we will discuss informed decision making. Historically, individuals with disabilities were relegated to the care of guardians. Decisions were made on behalf of the individual with minimal consideration of an individual's preferences, desires, interests, and will. Intentionally or not, individuals were perceived as less capable of making decisions for themselves and were denied their autonomy and independence. Over the last 40 years, we've been trying to move away from this model. Research has shown that greater self-determination correlates to greater life satisfaction and longer lifespans. Why does informed decision-making matter? It's the law, it's reaffirmed as part of the home and community-based settings rule, and simply, it's the right thing. As a support coordinator, you are a facilitator. You work with individuals to empower individuals to take control and responsibility of their own lives. In this module, we will discuss informed decision-making and self-determination as it applies to making choices about one's career and employment pathway. Informed decision-making begins with individuals truly having self-determination. But what is self-determination? It's a term that is frequently used throughout our day-to-day lives. Many people talk about self-determination, but do they truly foster it? Self-determination is one's ability to make life decisions and choosing one's own life path, a path which may or may not include where they live, with whom they live, where they work, how they fill their day, and the goals they choose to aspire. It's not about giving someone self-determination, as that implies someone else possesses it and must pass it to the individual. It is truly about valuing a person and supporting them with exercising their legally protected rights of choice. The 5 principles of self-determination are freedom, which is the ability to plan and create, authority, the power of decision-making, support, which is assistance and resources, responsibility, which is the ownership of choices and consequences, and confirmation, which acknowledges one's own independence. As individuals live self-determined lives, how do we support them with making choices which consider many factors? How do you make decisions in your own life? How do your friends and family members make decisions? We all make decisions through a thoughtful process which enables us to balance risk and reward while considering our own preferences and values. As a support coordinator, your role is no different in this decision-making process than it would be in any other setting. It's about helping individuals first identify options available to them. Secondly, identifying the consequences, intended and unintended, likely, less likely, and unlikely. 3, assessing the risk as well as the reward of each consequence of each choice. 4th, evaluating how options align with a person's strengths, preferences, and values. And 5th, and lastly, exercising one's self-determination and selecting the option. All individuals you support can learn, observe through modeling, and contribute to the process of generating options. All individuals can increase their knowledge about consequences associated with options through personal experiences and instruction if we customize our approaches and strategies. All individuals have preferences, and all people become more involved in comparing decision options with personal preferences. So as a support coordinator, what is your role in the informed decision-making process? When you consider the profession of a support coordinator, what 2 words comprise this highly important role? The word support, which means to assist and strengthen assistance, and coordinator, a person who brings together elements. As a guide, it is not your responsibility to determine the journey nor the destination. It's your responsibility to assist and bring together elements in making decisions. This is done by helping an individual in 3 key ways. 1, assistance with identifying options, which means to be knowledgeable of both the individual and the community of options and opportunities. 2, fostering discussions to explore the options. And 3, connecting the individual to the programs and resources that they may need. The challenge in informed choice about employment for people with disabilities is that many have limited experiences to base their decisions and options. These limited experiences result in limited opportunities to explore other settings, and there is a culture that often defers to quick decisions without a thoughtful, informed decision-making process. In terms of employment pathways, informed decision-making begins with an individual identifying the options and opportunities which present themselves. It's more than just asking a person, do you want to work? It's providing the opportunity to truly identify the skills that an individual possesses, how those skills can be built upon to expand one's abilities, how others may see talent which they offer. It's about supporting individuals to learn what interests they may have in types of jobs, careers, work tasks, and work settings. It's about helping an individual learn about the opportunity to have more money, save for the future, and purchase items they desire. And most importantly, it's about helping an individual learn about the facts of work versus the fiction and the myths which persist. As individuals identify options, the next steps are to assist them with exploring the rewards, consequences, and opportunities which can create new pathways. These insights can be achieved by talking with others who have lived experience working in the community, discussions which explore whether a person needs additional insight of their own skills and whether or not further analysis and further activities need to occur. By expanding a person's network, they get the opportunity to learn more and more diverse perspectives on the choices available to them, plus providing opportunity to develop new experiences for making a decision can be helpful. This may be the perfect time to connect a person with employment and benefit professionals. Ultimately, the individual needs to be informed that they do not need to travel this pathway on their own. There are opportunities to be connected with programs and services to assist them with making this decision and to assist them with accomplishing success in their goals. These connections may include waiver-funded employment services, vocational rehabilitation, employment specialists, and resources for their local job centers. Unlike any other group of people, individuals with disabilities are presented with two different pathways of employment: sheltered employment and competitive employment in the community. As a result of longstanding federal exemption of minimum wage, people with disabilities are the only protected class of individuals which can legally be paid sub-minimum wages. As you assist individuals with making an informed decision about an employment pathway, it may be helpful for you as a support coordinator to understand these two paths. Shelter workshops are a setting which enables wages to be paid based upon production. This is the historical model of employment for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities while they were still institutionalized in segregated settings. The type of work being performed and the work products are determined by the workshop manager and staff. Although still legal, this pathway is one which offers limited choice of setting, wages, and work tasks, which may or may not be aligned with the person's skills, abilities, interests, and wage income desires. Competitive employment settings are those which offer individuals with disabilities the opportunity to work among other individuals with and without disabilities. It's every business in our community. It's a business that a job seeker gets to pick and choose based upon their interests, skills, values, and preferences. In the community-based competitive employment setting, a person is compensated equivalent to others performing the same job at no less than minimum wage. Individuals can work as part of a group with others with an intellectual disability or simply as an individual who has an interest to work. In this setting, people can be supported through a job coach, natural supports, and other customized approaches to include job modifications, accommodations, and technology when needed. One of the greatest differences about work in the community at workplaces is that those workplaces are no different than those that we are all afforded the opportunity to work and have the opportunity to have advances in wages, advances in responsibility, and increased earnings. Many of the myths about employment you have likely heard. There is a perception that people who work will lose their cash benefits from SSI and SSDI. There are concerns that Medicaid eligibility is at risk. There are also many myths that people with disabilities can't find the right job as they may not possess all the skills necessary for those positions which they may be interested in. Other myths believe there are inadequate supports in the community and that transportation is not readily available. However, throughout Missouri, we see individuals having employment success while retaining their needed benefits. Relationships with businesses and employers who value the contribution the employee is making. Success where support and job setting has been well matched. Opportunities in getting to work through use of community connections, community resources, expanded social systems, and through support coordination. As discussed earlier in the training module, it is the role of the support coordinator to help inform individuals of their options. When there may be insufficient understanding of opportunities, it is the support coordinator's role to assist with helping identify information and experiences to truly support informed decision-making in the pursuit of their career pathways. When looking at many of the myths that exist about employment, a support coordinator is able to address the fear of losing benefits by being educated about SSI and SSDI, as well as the work incentives associated with those programs. A support coordinator can also refer an individual to a benefits planning specialist or visit the MoDB 101 website, which is located at mo.db101.org. Pertaining to the myth about finding the right job, there are many programs and services available to help an individual in best understanding their talents, skills, and gifts. An individual could be connected with pre-employment skills training assessments. They can be connected through career planning services. They can complete interest inventories and other pre-vocational services to increase their education about different employment options. In getting the right supports, nothing is better than a well-matched job. In a well-matched job, the employment specialist supports the individual in learning the job skills, integrating within their workforce, and implementing any needed accommodations. And lastly, the myth about transportation. There's a lot of adequate public programs that assist with transportation. Many individuals are able to secure transportation through other commercial services, as well as relying on trusted individuals in the community and trusted individuals within their workplace. Employment and employment interest, not unlike every other aspect of our life, evolves over time. As we learn more about ourselves and develop new experiences, our goals and preferences change. For individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, this is no different. Simply because someone becomes employed does not mean that the decisions related to employment ends. We need to remember to continue to support those individuals who are already working. The ways in which those individuals can be supported is by continuing to monitor their employment satisfaction and any supports that they may need on the job. It's continuing to discuss with an individual not only their short-term goals in their current workplace, but also what other long-term goals they may have within this workplace or within a new workplace. It's important for the support coordinator to continue to foster connections, deliver support, and help the individual continue to explore their interests and preferences as time moves forward and those interests evolve. And lastly, no differently for those who aren't employed, it's important that the support coordinator continues to hold planning meetings to discuss future goals and interests related to employment. In conclusion, when helping individuals make informed decisions related to employment, it's important to provide information about the benefits of working in the community. It's about facilitating visits and experiences which inform individuals to make truly informed decisions. It's about identifying and factually addressing any concerns or objections to work to truly ensure that informed decisions are able to be made. It's important for an individual to regularly visit a decision to not work in the community. Simply because they've been asked once, we need to ensure that individuals are continuously reaffirmed of their opportunity to pursue employment across their adult lifespan. And remember, choice is more than whether or not a person wants to work. The choice is also inclusive of where they want to work, what kind of job they want, the work hours and work schedule that they pursue, the importance of considering transportation, and also the importance of considering future job changes. Contained on this slide are different resources which we have identified that can assist you in working with individuals to affirm self-determination and informed decision-making in employment.